What is up, my friends? Today we are just I don't know, 24 hours, not even removed from Roma's 2-1 comeback over Lecce. It is one which never has happened before in Roman history, where they come back in both goals and added time. Mourinho went crazy. Social media went nuts. I'm on the road, not my usual backdrop. But today we're going to be going through the Mourinho press conference, going to narrate it, jump in here and there. This is also going to be available on podcasts, on Apple, on Spotify, and as well the full transcript is what I'm grabbing from my Twitter account, which people gave me a lot of love for this, and I really appreciate that. So let me begin. He starts off speaking to DAZN right after, and the reporter says, "Let's start with the celebration. You almost entered the pitch. A liberating celebration?" He said, "Very quick, because afterwards I wanted to talk to the players because the match wasn't over. The team was unbalanced. Today we adopted the old philosophy that losing by 1 or 10 is the same, but we won. We ended up with Belotti, fifth man on the right. The players and crowd were extraordinary because usually at home when you lose 1-0, this passion between fans and players is not normal. Both the players and the fans deserved it. In the first half, the game could have gone our way. They also deserve it for the final because they had heart. They didn't betray what I had said yesterday. That is, that they are well organized and well trained. They have 3 super fast attackers on the counterattack. I'm sorry that for them and for Falcone because he says he's a great Roma player, but when he plays against us, he saves everything." 2 things there. He's right. And Falcone did show up massively, and they are really quick on the counter. Lecce posed all types of problems. They even scored a goal on the counter. Let's keep moving. "Nice finish on the goals," reporter says. Mourinho answers, "I describe it as heart and mentality, mainly at home. I have coached 6 or 7 teams, but in none of them, when you say you lose at home, do people continue to play with you and support you," is what he means here. "We have people on the pitch who can score with many attackers. Sometimes you bring chaos and create chaos to them. They could have made it 2-0. Crazy game and 3 important points. But Dybala ultimately played 90 minutes, reporter says. I didn't expect it. He did wonderful things in the first half. It is important for us. But what we have seen in those minutes on the pitch aren't the truth of Paulo. He has the taste of emotion. He did too much. To my surprise, I spoke to him at the end of the match and told him that maybe it's better not to come to Prague. And he told me no, and that he wants to play," referring to Roma's Thursday match. "How important is this victory before the derby?" he's asked. "I don't think the problem is being in front. I think it's normal for all the big teams to lose points on the same weekend. We talked about this in the locker room. Also, who lost was Lazio, Atalanta, Milan, and it's not normal. It's usually more normal that no one loses points. We couldn't waste this opportunity. 3 important points because we are closer to these teams." Yeah, it's great, no? And this is the exact round you gotta win. Think of those teams, Lazio, Milan, Atalanta. When does that happen? Mourinho's right here. "At the end of the match, you kissed Lukaku. What was there at that moment?" And this has been going definitely around social. You can even see I've got the video on my Twitter. It's a massive moment so far into the season. And he says, "First in Italy and second with me. It was the European Super Cup with Chelsea, but only those who shoot make mistakes. I'm never sad with those who make mistakes. Paulo didn't shoot because he didn't want to shoot from a standing start. His ligament suffers a bit with the stationary ball. No corner kick, no free kicks, and no penalties. Romelu shot, and we have great confidence in him. He is emotional. I know him better than anyone. He is very sensitive, and when he misses a penalty, afterwards his heart cries and his soul cries. Having the chance to score the winning goal couldn't have been better for me because he won the team, and Romelu sleeps better now. He has a big heart." Now on to the press conference. The first question says by a reporter, "It wasn't easy the way it went." Mourinho says, "Yes, as I said before, it was only possible with the team-fan connection. Because when a team loses a match at home that it has to win and enters in the 80th minute and is already playing in a chaotic manner, and the opponent starts to be dangerous for the first time, if there is no connection between the team and the stadium, it is impossible." I'm going to jump in here. What we saw when even Roma goes down a goal, the fans are still going for it. And that's just a testament to the character as a whole, to the entire Curva Sud, and the Tifosi, the entire body that is in the Stadio Olimpico supporting Roma. Continues, "It's the stadium that pressures you. Fans, players, it's an incredible thing. Even when you're not playing well, even if this wasn't the case since we played a good match. That connection, however, made me decide to adapt the philosophy of the 50 to 60s in the last 10 minutes. They had the chance to take the second goal, Then in the chaos, we forced Lecce into defensive chaos. There were Lukaku, Belotti, and Azmoun, Dybala in hybrid positions, which created problems for Gallo. The equalizer put extreme pressure on us, and we managed to win. A weekend that's not normal, because usually the top teams all win. But this time, 3 top teams plus Fiorentina or Juve lost. Ultimately, that was Fiorentina. And it was very important to win. I thank the boys and the fans. Now Roma are 4 points away from the Champions League, Pointer says. Could this be the turning point? Mourinho responds. People forget or want to forget. If you put away the 3 games before the end of the transfer window, when we had no players to play, without Dybala, Pellegrini, Lukaku, Sanchez, and Azmoun, with 1 point out of 9, analyze our season and look at the games and the points we scored. Apart from the Genoa disaster, and we didn't have any bad games. Even with Inter, it was difficult without the bench, with the famous alibi of Mr. De Servio. referring to De Servio, the chief of Serie A, saying that what Mourinho mentioned was an alibi, noting that they had a lot less rest than the other teams. He brings that up. He says, if you analyze the championship, the team plays better than last year, and the points we could have won have been more, but they leave us in a situation where we can fight until the end. Luckily, there are no injuries today. Pellegrini and Spinazzola are closer to returning with each passing day. I see Smalling as more difficult and distant, and that's what he leaves us in great difficulty. Because in Prague, you talked to me about rotations, but who will play defense? Mancini, Llorente, and Indica. I tell you already, the victory was important emotionally. The locker room was very happy. They deserve it. They're extraordinary guys, a beautiful family. Next question. Dybala looked like he had a problem in the first half. He said, yeah, on the ankle. I never thought he could play 90 minutes, nor me, nor the medical department, nor Paolo. He did it emotionally for the result, for a pact with the team, but he wasn't in condition. We decided that he would kick set balls, otherwise he would risk it. He did it for the result. In the first half, he took a blow to his ankle, but then carried on. Karsdorp, he's asked. Karsdorp played a good game, as always, in the offensive phase, his most important quality. He did well. He did the first half very well when we decided to risk everything and play without wingers. Without Mancini, I needed fresh fullbacks. Even though Christensen isn't a great player technically, he has that leg, meaning like he can go out there and give extra endurance and a physicality to the side. Last question here. What Lazio do you expect? He says, I expect the usual Lazio, a team with a lot of experience, for example, the one that got Ibanez sent off last year. Teams that know how to manage moments. And without criticizing the league, because if I did, I would be an idiot. With a 48-hour head start, but this time the league is not guilty. He's noting that Lazio played 2 days earlier in the Champions League on Tuesday, but even mentioning that, that's not the league's fault this time. This is that has to do with the European play. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Send to your friends. Leave a like, leave some love, some comments. We'll talk soon. Thank you for tuning into the Jose Mourinho post-conference right after Roma versus Lecce. The Giallorossi took this one heading into the dirt.